Guys, if you've been following the channel, you know that a while back, I made a video explaining that Superman Legacy might not be released on its scheduled date due to a massive lawsuit against Warner Brothers. And guess what? Things are still the same. The mess is still going on, with no clear resolution in sight. If you haven't watched that video yet and want to understand all the details about this lawsuit, don't worry. At the end of this video, a link will pop up for you to check it out, or you can find it in the description. But I highly recommend sticking around until the end, because today, we're diving deep into the Superman Legacy trailer. I watched it, rewatched it, analyzed it frame by frame, and after taking a closer look, I think I know how this story is going to unfold. So if you want to uncover hidden details, comic book references, what this movie might change in the DCU, and how it could redefine Superman's origin in a completely new way, stay with me. We're going to break down every detail, dissect every scene, and put this puzzle together piece by piece. And of course, if you want to be part of the discussion, drop a comment below, because at the end of the video, Wool will be here reading and responding to the best comments from the last video. So, do you want to know everything about James Gunn's Superman? Oh, and before we begin, for those who are new here, this is the right place for you if you love movies, games, nerd culture, and all the entertainment drama. And of course, I don't do this alone.
Hey everyone, I'm Wool, and just a heads up, at the end of the video, I'll be here responding to the best comments. So if you have a theory, a question, or just want to rant about Lex Luthor, drop your comment below, and I'll be reading everything.
All right, you know the drill. Get comfy, grab some popcorn, and let's do this! All right, folks, let's get into the details. What exactly is this Superman movie about? Where did James Gunn get his inspiration? And what's the deal with that different S on the Big Blue's chest? Let's break it all down. First things first, Superman. Legacy, set to release on July 11th, 2025, is a full reboot, so forget everything that came before. Henry Cavill, Zack Snyder, that's over. Now we have David Corenswet stepping in as Clark Kent, Rachel Brosnahan as Lois Lane, and of course Lex Luthor played by Nicholas Hoult. Warner Brothers and DC are betting everything on this movie because it's the first major step in James Gunn's new DC cinematic universe. And for those wondering where Gunn got the concept for this Superman, the answer lies in the comics. He's drawing inspiration from All-Star Superman, written by Grant Morrison and illustrated by Frank Quitely. If you've never read it, don't worry, I'll explain. This comic is one of the most beloved by fans, portraying a Superman at the peak of his career, an optimistic, inspiring hero with a huge heart. He's not a distant god, nor an angry warrior. He's simply Superman, the guy who embodies hope, justice, and selflessness. Now let's dive into what might be the main story of this movie. And pay attention. This part is important. The trailer gave us several hints that Superman isn't being welcomed by humanity, and that could be one of the biggest conflicts in the film. And the scene that makes this crystal clear, the one where some guy throws a soda can at Superman's head. And that got me thinking, why on earth would anyone throw a can at the greatest hero of all time? A can at Superman. And the craziest part, he blinked when it hit him.
Wait, so you're telling me Superman doesn't feel bullets, missiles, explosions, but he felt a soda can?
Exactly, Wool. Brandon Routh's Superman took a bullet to the eye and didn't even flinch. But this one got hit with a soda can and blinked. So now I gotta ask, did it actually hurt? Or is the guy who threw it secretly a bodybuilder with super strength?
Or maybe he held back so he wouldn't kill the guy.
Holy crap, you might be right. He probably took the hit and thought, if I retaliate, this guy is turning into dust in midair. Better act like it didn't hurt.
Exactly. If he reacted the wrong way, the next day's Daily Planet headline would be, Superman responds to attack with violence, launches civilian into Saturn's orbit.
Ha ha ha! Facts! But jokes aside, that scene isn't just there for no reason. It clearly shows that Superman isn't being welcomed in this world. Like, think about it. What kind of world do we live in where someone actually has the guts to throw a soda can at Superman and think they're in the right?
That already hints at a public perception crisis. Maybe people have been manipulated, maybe they're scared. Something's way off.
And the number one suspect behind this? Lex Luthor. If there's anyone who wants to destroy Superman's image, it's him. And this little soda can moment might seem small, but it symbolizes just how much the public might be turning against him at this point in the story.
Which makes me wonder, could this whole movie be about Superman earning humanity's trust back?
You bet he will, but first he's going to have to endure way more than just soda cans to the head. But now I want to hear from you. Do you think Superman actually felt that can? Or did he just hold back out of reflex to avoid causing an intergalactic disaster? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What we can already tell from the trailer and everything we know so far is that this isn't an origin story, meaning Superman already exists. He's already out there saving the day. And more than that, he's not the first hero in this world. We've already seen other DCU heroes pop up in the trailer, like Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, Guy Gardner, and Metamorpho. That means superpowered beings have been around for a while in this universe. The difference? None of them are like Superman. And this is where Lex Luthor comes in. If there's one thing he hates, it's the idea of Superman being seen as some kind of divine figure, a perfect being that everyone looks up to. Lex believes that if people rely too much on Superman, they'll stop fighting for themselves. So what's the best way to get rid of Superman? Turn the people against him. And that's where the theory about Ulysses comes in. A character introduced in the comics in 2014 who just might be the real villain of this movie. If this theory is correct, Ulysses might be Superman's replacement in this world. For those who don't know, Ulysses is a character from the Superman comics, created by Jeff Johns and John Romita Jr. His origin is actually very similar to Superman's. He was a human child sent away to another world, where he gained superpowers and eventually returned to Earth as a supposed savior. The problem? He doesn't believe in humanity the way Superman does. He thinks Earth needs to be led and that the best way to protect people is by governing them. Now imagine that in the movie, Lex Luthor presenting Ulysses as the perfect hero, someone who isn't afraid to do what needs to be done. Meanwhile, he pushes the narrative that Superman is weak because he doesn't kill, because he always saves even the villains, because he still believes in the good in people. And just like that, public opinion starts turning against Superman. And this is where that soda can scene finally makes sense. That moment could represent the peak of Superman's rejection. Maybe people believe he isn't strong enough to protect them, that he's too naive, that he doesn't take decisive action when necessary. Now imagine this is the first time Superman actually feels rejection. A guy who's always done the right thing, always protected the innocent, and suddenly, he's met with disdain, distrust, and hostility. This reminds me a lot of a classic DC story called Kingdom Come, where Superman walks away from the world because people started preferring violent heroes, ones who killed without hesitation. And what symbol is Superman wearing in this movie? The exact same one from Kingdom Come? Coincidence? I don't think so. And now we reach the most important moment of the film, the moment when Superman finally proves that his values are unshakable. Because we know Ulysses can't be trusted. At some point in the movie, he could lose control, turn against humanity, impose his own rules, and put the entire Earth at risk. Who's the only one who can stop him? Superman. And at that moment, all those people who doubted him, who called him weak, who threw a soda can at his head, will finally realize that he's the true hero. This could be the perfect way for Superman to earn the world's respect, not through power, not through violence, but simply by being who he is. He doesn't need manipulation, he doesn't need politics, he doesn't need power games, he just needs to do what's right. And when people finally understand that, we might get that epic moment where the entire city of Metropolis starts chanting his name, calling for his help, realizing that he was always on their side, even when they doubted him. Wool, did you see the trailer? What did you think?
I did, and let me tell you, Krypto is going to be the heart of this movie. He's not just there to be a cute sidekick, he actually plays a role in Superman's story, and I loved how they introduced him. That scene where he drags Superman by the cape? Perfect. It shows he's not just a superpowered dog, he's Clark's best friend, the one who's there when he needs him the most. Plus, James Gunn said he was inspired by his own dog, Oso, when creating this version of Krypto. Oso came from a really rough rescue. He had never been around humans, he was totally wild. And Gunn imagined, what if a dog with superpowers had gone through that? That explains why Krypto isn't just there, he has real emotional weight in this story. And look, if there's one thing James Gunn knows how to do, it's making charismatic characters that break us emotionally. If he does with Krypto what he did with Rocket in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, get your tissues ready. This movie has potential, and Krypto is definitely going to be that character everyone thinks is just cute at first. But by the end, we'll all be sobbing in the theater.
All right, well, tell me, did you notice the S on Superman's chest in this trailer?
Yeah, but I have to admit, I didn't pay much attention the first time I watched it. I just thought it looked different. Bigger, more stylized, kind of classic?
Great observation. But there's actually a huge detail behind it. That S isn't just a random redesign. It's directly inspired by the Superman from the Kingdom Come comic.
Ah, so that's why it looks so powerful. But wait, isn't Kingdom Come the story where Superman kind of gives up on humanity?
Exactly. In that story, Superman steps away because the world starts rejecting his way of being a hero. Instead, people begin favoring harsher vigilantes, the kind who cross the line and have no problem killing villains. He basically retires because he feels like the world doesn't need him anymore.
That sounds a lot like what James Gunn might be setting up in this movie.
Right? We already know Superman is going to face a period of rejection, that humanity might turn its back on him, manipulated by Lex Luthor. And this different S could be a visual clue that this is his great struggle in the movie, proving that he's still the hero the world needs even when no one believes in him.
Dude, that makes so much sense. And it totally explains the soda can scene. That wasn't just a random moment. It was a symbol of how hostile the public is toward him.
And remember what happens at the end of Kingdom Come? Superman comes back, but not as some vengeful warrior. He reaffirms his ideals. He proves that what truly inspires people isn't brute force, but kindness, hope, and perseverance.
So if this movie follows that path, we could see a Superman who's humiliated, treated like a weakling until the moment he proves, through his actions, that he was always the true hero.
Now you get it. James Gunn's Superman won't have to change who he is to be accepted. If anything, it's the world that will have to realize that he's always been the right hero to protect them. That S might seem like a small detail, but it could tell us a lot about the story this movie is trying to tell.
Man, now I'm even more hyped for this movie. If this theory turns out to be true, James Gunn might just be giving us the most impactful Superman we've ever seen on screen.
All right, guys, drop a comment and let me know. Does this theory make sense to you? Is this new S just a visual tweak? Or is it a sign that Superman is about to face the biggest challenge of his life? I want to hear your thoughts. All right, folks, that was our deep dive into James Gunn's Superman trailer. We broke down the possible plot, Lex's plan, the conflict with Ulysses, the new S on Soup's chest, and of course, the legendary soda can moment. But now, it's your turn. What do you guys think of these theories? Do you have any other ideas about how this movie might play out? Could James Gunn surprise us with something completely unexpected? Drop your thoughts in the comments. The best theory will get a shout out in the next video, with full credit. Who knows, maybe you'll predict the movie before it even hits theaters.
And speaking of comments, now it's my turn. Let's check out what you guys are saying and answer some questions.
That's right. Wool, take it away.
All right, we've got a comment here from R. Sunayu D'Agostino who says, but Frank, as of lately, Netflix has financed very successful and entertaining programs. Yes, The Witcher was a big letdown, especially the second season, but that was the producer's fault for trying to rewrite an already great story. Season 1 was good and Henry Cavill was exceptional. They've already proven that with a good producer and Netflix's deep pockets, great things are possible. So maybe Gears of War will end up being good. So, Frank, do you think there's a chance?
Look, I wish I had your optimism, Sunayu. Seriously, I agree that Netflix has the money and can make great things happen with the right producer. But the problem is, they love to mess with things that don't need fixing. The Witcher is a prime example. They had perfect source material in the books and games, but they just had to reinvent the wheel. And well, we all saw how that turned out.
Okay, but what about Gears of War? Is it going to work or not?
That depends. If they stay true to Gears' brutal, dark, and militaristic tone, it could turn out amazing. But if they try to cram in Marvel-style jokes or tone down the violence, then forget it. Marcus Fenix is not a Disney movie hero, all right?
Yeah, but adapting a game is always a challenge, right? Game stories usually work because of their gameplay dynamics, not just the narrative. And when they try to turn that into a movie or series, it doesn't always go as expected. Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tomb Raider. We've seen plenty of examples where things didn't go so well.
But Gears of War has a golden opportunity if they handle it with honesty. The story already has a cinematic feel in the games. They just need to balance action and drama without messing up the universe. If they get that right, it could be an awesome series.
Good answer, Frank. Now let's check out what else the audience is saying. All right, another comment from Asunayu D'Agostino, who says, I watched a small clip on Yang Ye's channel from a live stream where the player, controlling Yasuke, enters a shrine and starts destroying everything. This seems to have caught the attention of some high-ranking people in Japan, and things are not looking good. Frank, this is turning into a controversy, huh?
Yeah, Wool. This could be a huge issue. We already know Assassin's Creed Shadows is covering a really sensitive period in Japan's history, and handling the culture and traditions without care can cause serious backlash. If they really included a scene where Yasuke destroys a shrine, that's a massive case of cultural insensitivity.
Yeah, because it's one thing to create a story inspired by history, but it's another to do something that might be seen as disrespectful. Japan takes its culture very seriously, especially when it comes to temples and sacred sites. If this really upset people over there, Ubisoft might have to change the game before release.
And it wouldn't be the first time a game company had to change something due to cultural pressure. If the Japanese government or traditional organizations decide to step in, Ubisoft might have to do a full rework of that part of the game. And let's be honest, that would be a major headache for them.
Loved this comment. Huge thanks to Sunayu D'Agostino for bringing this up. I'll definitely keep an eye on this, because if Ubisoft decides to change anything due to this controversy, you can bet we'll cover it all right here on the channel.
That's right. So now you know. If there's any update on this situation, you'll hear about it here first.
Sunayu D'Agostino, a big thank you for your comment. You brought some amazing information, and we love it when the community shares details that might go unnoticed. It makes the discussion even richer and the video even more complete.
Exactly. And if you want to see your comment featured here on the channel, join the conversation. Drop a comment below, share your opinion, bring a theory, some fresh info. We're always keeping an eye on the best comments to respond to in future videos.
That's right. This channel keeps growing thanks to this incredible interaction from you guys, so don't miss out. Let us know what you think about the video, the Superman trailer, the theories. We want to hear from you. All right, folks, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications because there's more insane content coming your way. And as always, if there's any breaking news about Superman, Assassin's Creed, or any other drama going down, we'll cover it all here first. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.